What's up, family? It's your favorite cousin back again with episode 11 of Rich Talks. And today we're going to talk about the paradox of freedom. Yes, the paradox of freedom. Is freedom really free? Is freedom really free? First, I would have to say no. I would say this illusion or this thing tied around freedom, there's no such thing as being free. And there's so many points, but the first point is, as being put here on this earth, you have responsibilities, and not necessarily responsibilities that we have instilled as far as humankind in this century or this generation that we're living in. No, not necessarily responsibilities like that, but we have responsibilities as humankind, you know. Certain responsibilities that we have as humankind in order for humankind to continue evolving and humankind to survive. Is freedom really free? So how do you become free? You escape, you escape society. You escape your thoughts. You escape your responsibilities. Is freedom really free? No. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've been somewhat lied to about, is that freedom is really free, or there is a such thing as freedom. And what is the benefit of freedom? You know, when you achieve that quote unquote freedom, what was your end goal? To be free of responsibilities. You still have responsibilities, the responsibility to survive. So are you truly free? You see? And what is the benefit of truly being free? Is there a benefit? I feel like people's search for freedom is because they're tied into quote unquote hell here. When you're tied into something that you're not necessarily a fan of, or you're necessarily, when you're tied into something that necessarily doesn't benefit you, or you're tied into someone else's programming, I think that's the time that you want to escape. That's the time that you want to find freedom. But when you're finally doing your own thing, but not necessarily freedom, but you're doing your own thing of how you choose or see fit life, you're not necessarily choosing or searching for freedom or free from something, But I would backtrack what I just said, and I would say, is it true freedom or being free from something? I would say, it's cool to be free from things like stress. Cool to be free from things like society pressures and all these things. But is it really cool to be free from certain things like love? Is it cool to be free from certain things of, care? Is that why people search for freedom? Or do people really just search for freedom because they want to be free from certain things that society has placed on them? That's why I say you have to quickly and seriously evaluate things that go on in your life before people say they want freedom. In the sense of being free from responsibilities, or being free from these things that have been placed in our lives that cause us separation from source. And I highly believe that's what it is that we're disconnected from source so much when we are tied into these societies and things that we want to escape it all and be free. And it's really hard to really be yourself or do what you choose in these societies, like freely express who you are, the freedom to do that. Is it really possible to really freely be who you are in society when you can't dress how you want, or act how you want, move how you want? You can't really do that when you have certain things that society set up that won't allow you to, like a job, because you have to pay bills in order to survive. So now you can't necessarily act how you want to, or move how you want to, or do what you want to. I believe that's some of the greatest, or one of the greatest downfalls of humankind, of being in the society that we live in, is that we are not free from being who, or we don't have the freedom to truly be who we want to be or need to be. I think that should be the only necessary freedom that we seek, is the freedom to truly be who you are, the freedom to truly act who you are, to think who you are, the freedom to do those things, not necessarily free from responsibilities and free from, the things that we have to incorporate in our lives, the things that we have to do. But I believe just the simplicity of having the freedom of doing what you want to do, being who you want to be, and not necessarily not necessarily doing what you want to do in the sense or context of, being a degenerate. I mean, more so in like what you choose to do with your life path. Society told you should be a doctor to get respect, but you really want to be a teacher. So the freedom to truly express yourself how you see fit, how God saw fit, your divine self, expressing yourself in those channels versus expressing yourself or not expressing yourself, not having the freedom or ability to because you have all these society structures and pressures and things of that sort against you. So is freedom really free? What does it cost to be free? It costs a lot to be free because you have to give up care. You have to give up the care that you have for your fellow person if you really want the freedom of escaping society altogether. So the responsibilities of people that you're supposed to love, that weighs heavy because now the people that you're supposed to love is not receiving that love. The people that you're supposed to help, you're not giving that help out. You see what I'm saying? So the cost of freedom in that sense of escaping is very expensive. I don't think God intended us to be free in that sense of being free from responsibilities of loving one another, caring for one another, ensuring we're there to help one another. I don't think we're supposed to be free in that sense, no. But more so in the sense, like I stated, of who you truly are, what you're divinely put here to be, what you're divinely put here to do. I think that's the sense of freedom that we should run towards, of fully expressing why you're put here. And that ability should be exercised. That freedom should definitely be exercised. But the freedom of escaping responsibilities, the freedom of escaping true love, or the freedom of escaping this world, no. That's what the purpose of us being here is for. It's not to be free of those things, but it's to be free of society pressures, yes. Because that's false. That's not real. All these cars and materialistic items and social hierarchies and all those things aren't real. I'm not saying they can't be enjoyed, but they're not real. I think it's easier to even enjoy the materialistic items and the cars and all these things if you are free from them. Meaning, if you're free from trying to acquire these things due to society pressures, if you're free from that, but you genuinely just want these items, now you're able to enjoy them. Number one, because the process that you acquire them in is much easier. It's free. You're not slaving yourself trying to acquire these items. You're not selling your soul to acquire these items. So now, in turn, you more so focus on the things that's going to make you happy. When you're free from stress of acquiring these things, you focus on the things that make you happy. And if you know about energies and manifesting, that's the easiest way for those things to come in. And now you're free from the stress of trying to acquire these things. So, is freedom really a thing? Depends on who you talk to. Some people really want freedom. Some people just want freedom from paying bills. I would personally align with the person who wants freedom from paying bills. Because that's the society structure that holds you back from source. That's the society structure that holds you back from truly being you. But I wouldn't want freedom of not being able to love someone or help someone. Freedom of me being on my own personal island forever. No. I would say That's different than trying to escape to find peace, for momentary peace because you're stressed out. I would say those are two different things. But I'm saying when you truly want to escape society, to me, I wouldn't say that's a red flag, but that's something I would be aware of. For people who truly want to escape society, you have to sit back and ask yourself why. Why are you seeking or searching for that type of freedom? And a lot of times it will go back to because they're not fulfilled here in this present time. They're not fulfilled. They don't understand or they don't find the meaning of this life that they're living. Things aren't adding up. Life is life and it's not adding up. That's why people want to seek freedom. You never want freedom from something that you're truly enjoying, like a kid playing video games. He doesn't want freedom from that. He wants to be free from society to do that. See? That's because he enjoys the video games. But the person who has a job that they hate, they want freedom from that every day. So it's more so about where do you find yourself in life? Where do you find yourself where do you find your position in life when you ask yourself you want to be free? And that should answer the position of things that you may need to eliminate or at least go over again in your life and reevaluate. And I said, we live so much in society that the things that we choose to do or the things that we choose to be only benefit society structures, only benefit the things that have been placed on us from the powers that be. But none of them are divine. None. None of them are for your highest self. And I feel like that's why we're so caught up in that. That's why we want freedom so much. And I said, personally, I don't seek freedom. Because I see it as that I'm already free. Free from society pressures of being something great or doing something great. No. It's not that I'm going to not be something great in my life. No, but it's great according to my divine mission, not according to what society says is great. Like that's selling your soul. I said a lot of people sold their soul. Now they want freedom from hell. That's really what it is. They want freedom from hell. That's why they seek to escape. They're searching for this freedom. They're searching for this quote-unquote freedom of escaping from reality. It's because their actual reality is hell. Which goes off on a minor tangent. That if there is no such thing as heaven and hell, correct? Then I believe it is a mind state. And that you can either be heaven or hell depending on your mind state and where you find yourself. And a lot of people find themselves in a miserable position. And therefore, I would say that they're in hell. And many people find themselves in a happy, positive position, or at least a position that can move them forward, or a position of abundance. And wouldn't you say that would be heaven? But enough of that tangent. That's neither here nor there for this message. I just had to get that out. But I will also add on to that, what if there was no heaven and hell? and it's what you made it. How would you live now? Would you wait? Because some people wait and say, okay, I'm just going to abide by what society has said now, and I'll wait till I get to heaven to truly be free. But what if that's now? What if your ability to truly be free has started now? While you're on this journey in this human existence? What if that's your opportunity to be free and you haven't taken it? Why? Again, because caught so much into society pressures. I wonder if God is happy with how our society is structured. Honestly, I would say no. I would say no because the society we live in separates us from God so much. There's no way that you could be 100% in compliance with the society and how it's structured and still get closer to God. There's no way to survive in this society, how it's intended, and you to get closer to God. It seems like the only way people get closer to God in this society and how it's structured is through struggle. That people have struggled so much or are struggling so much that their only option is to turn to God, for help, for grace, for strength, for understanding. It seems like that's the only way people can get closer to God in these society. In this society and how it's structured. And you have to make that choice to go that route. Some people just put their head even further down, and don't ask those questions or don't turn to God. But it seems like I said, in the society we live in and how it's structured, it seems like that's the only way that we can connect to God. Like I said, that is if you're truly tied into this society and how it's structured. Everybody's not, but a majority of people are. So if you want freedom, I would say break free from this society. Break free from the mental constructs that you already have built up. Break free from all these things. Don't break free from just wanting to run away or escape. No, because there's a reason why you want to run away and escape. The only reason why you don't like going to work is because you hate your job. It's not that some people don't like working. Some people just genuinely don't like working. But it's not that you don't like working. The only reason why people say they don't like working is because they've associated working with their job and they hate their job. Therefore, they hate working. But you have somebody who genuinely likes their job, they don't hate working. So what's the difference? One person hates their job, and one person likes their job. And the position you're in is how you will feel. And if we're talking about freedom from society, running away and just be by yourself or be truly free. Are you running away to another place in order to experience that place and experience the people, the culture, the this, the that? Or are you escaping or running away from a place to just be by yourself? Because as humans, are we truly made in that vein? Are we truly made to just be by ourselves? No. We rely on other people. That's how we're made. We're supposed to rely on other people. We're supposed to have other people around us. We're supposed to share love. We're supposed to share knowledge. How can you do these things if you're free from society? You know, free from just by yourself on the island. You know. And like I said, that's different than someone stating that they need to escape for a while because, you know, certain pressures or, you know, to get their mind right or just find peace for a momentary reason. You know, that's different than someone totally, completely wanting to escape and just be by themselves forever on this island. Like I said, when people say that, I believe it's something in their life that's not allowing them to truly be free or truly express themselves or live as they choose right now. That's why people go off and want to be completely by themselves. It comes from a place of stress. It comes from a place of, you know, being tired. But you put that same person in an environment where they're being utilized and helpful and loved correctly and equal amount of reciprocation and all this, right? They're not going to want to be free from that. They're not going to want to leave. How could you? You only want freedom from things that's not in alignment with you. And a lot of times you may not necessarily say what's in alignment or not in alignment with you, but you know, you feel it. It's like that anxiety that comes over you when it's time for you to go to work. Or the slight depression that comes over you when it's time to go to work. Or every time you go to a family gathering or something, that anxiety or depression that starts coming about, even when you start thinking about it. Or the stress you feel when you have to go out in public in the certain community that you live in. You see? These are the triggers that you know that you need to leave or change something when you feel these triggers. Now when you feel these triggers, do you embark on them or do you ignore them? A lot of people ignore them. Why? Because they're tied into society. They feel that this is what it's supposed to be. They feel that this is how it's supposed to be, or they feel that this is what's necessary, or they feel like they have no other option. A lot of people feel like they have no other option because they haven't been told there's another option. A lot of people feel like there is no other option because they're tied so much into society that they don't even seek another option or not even will or not even wanting another option. Because another option means letting go. Another option means taking a different path, letting go of what you know. But that's the true freedom. You know, that's the true freedom is of being able to let go. Letting go of things that don't serve you. That's the true freedom. But those same people would think that freedom would be just running off to an island by themselves for the rest of your life. And that's not it. I would say that's not it. Because how could you be beneficial to humankind? It's our responsibility to love. It's our responsibility to help. As humans, that's our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to have these corporate jobs. That's not our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to be, you know, climbing the social hierarchy ladder in order for, you know, some sort of accolades or being looked at as some kind of way in somebody's eye. As far as like, you know, how people have high respect for somebody who's in this path of life versus that path of life. You know, no. You know, look at squirrels. They're not worried about going to a job every day. These climbing trees, jumping from tree to tree, looking for nuts, acorns, all type of things. They just be chilling. You don't see no squirrel talking about, I want to be free. Maybe they do. You know, I don't speak squirrel. Maybe they do. But from the outside looking in, no, you don't see that. Like I said, sometimes I wonder, is the human intelligence our downfall? Or not properly you know, utilizing our intelligence for our benefit and not our downfall. Because if we were utilizing our intelligence for our benefit, I believe that would be the first thing that we would ask, or the first thing that we seek. We would say, we would start seeing that certain things aren't aligning, and we would do what we need to do for things to align. And doing what we need to do for things to align is getting rid of things that's holding us back. And a lot of times the thing that's holding us back is these society structures. You have to be able to see it. You have to be able to accept it. Being able to see it and accept it allows you to be able to take that first step to true freedom. If you don't see it, then you don't, if you don't see it, then you're going to be tied into that loop. You already caught up. You caught up so much that society has you. I think it's a big thing that if you're able to see it and not take that first step versus not seeing it, so therefore you can't take that first step. Not seeing it, so you can't take that first step, either means that you're so tied in, or it means that you haven't embarked on that spiritual journey for your mind to be open, or to even accept of what might be the possibilities of life. So sometimes you can and can't fault those people. But I feel the ones that hurt the most is when you know. When you know you're not free. When you know you're tied into something that's holding you back or tied your soul up. When you know these things, that's when you want to be more so radical with your freedom. Is when you know these things and you can't break free. That's the worst. I said people are so scared of letting their pretty little Mercedes go. Because they're worried about what their neighbors are going to think. So you're tied into this car and you're tied into the thoughts of your neighbors instead of truly being free. I said, I'm not talking down on a Mercedes or anything nice. I'm not talking down on that. Trust me. Because me personally, I like nice cars. I like nice things. I do. I like nice materialistic items. I do. But I'm not materialistic. Meaning I don't see them as super important or anything like that. No. But I like nice things. So I'm not talking down on, people who have nice things. I'm not talking down on it. But it's how are you tied to these things? And are you truly free? See, when I acquire these things, I want to be truly free when I acquire them. I don't want to be tied into something or tied to something and then acquire them. Because I would have a different love for them. I wouldn't appreciate them. I wouldn't care for them the same. My thought process with them would be totally different. If I got a Mercedes for a status symbol versus me getting a Mercedes because I truly, genuinely wanted a Mercedes. Two different things. How you drive that Mercedes, how you feel about that Mercedes, even how you receive or get that Mercedes, it'd be totally different. So practice, internal freedom. Practice truly being free within yourself first. Of letting certain pressures go. Be free from that. Be free from having to be what society thinks you should be. Be free from that. Be free from holding yourself to a super high standard that, even the greatest person can't achieve. And ask yourself, why are you holding yourself to these gigantic standards? Why? To be accepted? To prove yourself? Prove yourself to who? Somebody else who's not free? Somebody else who's tied in? No. Do away with that. Life is not meant for that. Life isn't meant for that at all. Life is to be enjoyed, to love, to help, to share, to care. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be free of responsibilities. No, because that's how we're able to survive. Is we need certain responsibilities. Certain people have to do this. Certain people have to do that. Yeah, but the things that, or your responsibilities, are they tied into, who you are? And I believe it was divinely made like that. We are all divinely made. That the things that we're put here to do, everybody has a unique thing that they're put here to do. And when we fully embrace that, society will continue going. Someone shouldn't be forced to be A when the universe made them to be B. No, the universe made them to be B. The universe made you to be A. It made this other person to be C. And in tandem, they all work together. Everything is already figured out. We don't have to figure anything out of who's going to do this and who. We don't have to do any of that. We're free from that. We don't have to do any of that. We were already free. We are the ones who put ourselves in chains. Well, I can't say we necessarily put ourselves in chains, but we're the ones that's already in chains. And the chains that we're in is what holds us back. We didn't put ourselves in chains. We were just born into chains. The chains of not being free, the chains of not really being who you are, express yourself, these things. No, those are the chains that we're not free from. So it's up to you to want something greater, want something better, and you actually breaking those chains. That's why I say it all starts in the mind first. Where you put your mind, everything else follows. So once you put your mind towards freedom of escaping these chains, freedom of escaping this society's pressures, freedom of escaping this, not just running away, no. Because you're running away. To me, that's what it is when people say they want to break free from all this and just go to an island by themselves. You're running away. Point blank period, you're running away. Running away to an island to be by yourself is different than running away or getting away from an environment that's not conducive to your journey, to your growth. Two different things. Because one, you're trying to grow. One, you're trying to be bigger. One, you're trying to help more. One, you're trying to find your divine purpose to really grow. Versus the other one, you're trying to run away. So no. Let's not try to break free from, what we are made here to be or to do. Don't get caught up into society's pressures. And that drifts you away from source. That drifts you away from your divine purpose. No. But like I said, analyze things that you feel. When you get that anxiety before you go to work, analyze that. Write it down. Note that. And these are the things that you need to break free from. Certain relationships you might have to break free from. Certain things in society that society has placed on us, you might have to break free from in order to feel or get that true feeling of freedom that you may want to feel or that you think you will feel when you run away to an island or you run away to be by yourself. That's that true freedom that you're seeking. If God wanted us to just do nothing or just be free from everything and just that was it, he would have made it like that. But he didn't. He gave us this divine intelligence that we have. He gave us this caring nature that we have. He gave us all these things, and all this is for a purpose. It is not to be wasted just on the island by ourselves. No. Sadly, it's being wasted now, how deep we are tied into society, especially Western culture. But nonetheless, you have the ability to break free. It all starts with the mind. And where do you envision yourself and how do you envision how you would feel? That's where it all starts. I hope this message helps somebody. Great talk. This your favorite cousin. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.